tween media doesn't exist anymore. There used to be a time where 10 to 15-year-olds had their own world.
Yes, finally, for so long I've been talking about the disappearance of tween media, but more specifically, the dangers we are now seeing from the disappearance of this specific genre of capitalism that's like girl pop, rhinestone, glitter, pink girls power. The early 2000s that was specifically aimed at ages like 6 to 14-ish. Now, I do think there is a direct correlation between like the decentering of empowering little girls and now this rise of like the trad wife, women belong in the home narrative we're seeing with younger generations. So hear me out on this one. As always, make sure you like, rage, comment, repost, and follow along for more. Even from a capitalistic standpoint, the loss of this industry never made sense to me because little girls, they discovered, were a huge consumer market. They were making hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars to literally anything they could sell to young women in this age range. If you look at the timeline of when this kind of started to slow down around 2011, I was one of the few last groups, now turning 27, who really hit the peak of this. You already know exactly what I'm talking about. Not only did women empowerment span across movies and TV shows, but it became total franchises that expanded into music, right? We had so many girl groups back in the day. We had Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, Hilary Duff, the Cheetah Girls, Britney Spears, Xenon. There was a reason they were trying to funnel any actress they could on the Disney Channel into a music career as well. Because if they could funnel their stars into this pipeline, it was so large that they could not only just start making stuff like this and it would sell out. Young girls, as we've seen now with Taylor Swift, probably one of the last few standing, were selling out entire world tours, and they were so large that they were even using these women to start marketing men. Even as a guy, if you could capture this market of young women, you could sell out anywhere. There was Justin Bieber, One Direction, the Jonas Brothers, Cody Simpson, the list goes on. And it didn't stop at music, there were home goods, there were magazines. There were entire stores and franchises dedicated to little girls just having fun, being little girls, glitter, girl power, etc. It was an insanely profitable timeline, and I will never understand why we let that go. But now that we are seeing the rise in things with young women like trad wife trends, staying at home, centering their boyfriends. And yes, there's been a huge rise in the consumer industry of like little kids with Bluey and Cocomelon and stuff like that. But unless you're figuring out how to market Martha Stewart to little girls, you will never see the same reception as when the Cheetah Girls would enter your local mall and they just had to shut the whole thing down.